also have many violent criminals in our country, however, that did not necessarily come here illegally, but have been arrested 30 times, 35 times, 41, 42 times in a couple of cases, many for murder and other heinous charges such as pushing people into subways, hitting them in the head with baseball bats while they're not looking. And I don't want these violent repeat offenders in our country any more than I want illegal aliens from other countries who misbehave. And I say, and this is subject to getting it approved, but if they've been arrested many, many times, they're repeat offenders, I want them out of our country. I also will be seeking permission to do so. We're going to get approval, hopefully, to get them the hell out of our country along with others. Let them be brought to a foreign land and maintained by others for a very small fee as opposed to be maintained in our jails for massive amounts of money, including the private prison companies that charge us a fortune. Now, let them be brought out of our country and let them live there for a while. Let's see how they like it. You'll see crime all over the country dry up.
I want to go back. I know that was a long clip and I tried to cut it for brevity, but I'm going to go back and let you listen to just who he's talking about. I'm pretty sure you know, but I'm going to play it again so those who probably didn't catch it can hear it.
We also have many violent criminals in our country, however, that did not necessarily come here illegally. And I don't want these violent repeat offenders in our country any more than I want illegal aliens from other countries who misbehave.
He's talking about American citizens. Now, when he says that they did not necessarily come here illegally, he's not talking about people that have some kind of immigration status that is up in the air or that has an asterisk. He's talking about American citizens. He is saying, hey, this is how America can save money. If it costs $30,000, $40,000 a year to house an inmate, let's give him to a second or third world country, pay that country $10,000 or $5,000 a year and save the American government system $20,000, $25,000 by housing that inmate in another country. Now, that may sound good for the other country, but you are trampling on Americans' civil liberties when you try to ship them out of their country to do that. And we've done this before. Georgia was founded by James Oglethorpe in 1732 as a penal colony. That's where the British government sent all of their prisoners, to include prisoners of the American Revolutionary War. They sent them to Georgia. When the British lost the American Revolution, guess where they sent their prisoners? They sent them to Australia. This is the flag of Liberia in Africa. And why does that flag look so similar to the American flag? And I'm sure you know why. Because a long time ago, they were talking about freeing Africans from slavery, but they couldn't stay in America. So the American Colonization Society came up with a brilliant idea. Let's ship them back to Africa. And a lot of them wound up on the coast of what is now Liberia, which also means liberty. They changed their flag to represent the American flag because a lot of those people were descendants of slaves, and, just go look up the history. Well, the Liberia thing didn't really pan out the way they thought it would. And, time went on and we had the American Civil War. And now the South lost. So what do they do to get these people away from us? Well, they come up with the 13th Amendment. They're criminals. So let's lock them up. So if they're huddled together, that's vagrancy. They can't be huddled together. They may be meeting to plot up something. If they don't have a job, they're a criminal. So let's put them in jail. Oh, the 13th Amendment says that slavery has been abolished unless you've been duly convicted of a crime. So if you go to jail for vagrancy or not having a job or not abiding by the contract of the sharecropper's contract, you go to jail. And they send you back to that sharecropping field to work for pennies on the dollar, if not for free. So Anglo-Saxon, even though Trump is German, they have a tendency of trying to get rid of people that they don't want. If they don't meet a certain complexion, a certain status, a certain religious status, a certain culture, they don't want you here around them. So the best way to get rid of them is to label them a criminal.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
That's just for the illegal immigrants. But they also want to get rid of the prisoners. And a lot of Americans, a lot of conservative Americans, a lot of MAGA Americans, they would say, that makes sense. They're criminals. Let's get the criminals out of here. And this is not just a racial thing, because I can go to the 13th Amendment and show you how black prisoners increased after the 13th Amendment. It's not just a black or white thing. When white people, some, not all, get rid of all the others, the only thing left are them. And that's when they start to nitpick and they go to, well, he's a Catholic, he's Protestant, he's whatever. So they start to feed on each other and then they start to break apart. That's why Europe can never be united. Just go look at the gangs in New York. They were all white gangs, but because you was other, you had to go. But when they were going against black people or the Asians, they all banded together. It's a movie based on a true story because it's history. And Donald Trump is trying to do what he said in the beginning. He wants to make America great again. And the era in which he feels America was great, damn sure it's not 2025. What do you think?